You want to understand how trauma really works? Well, more importantly, how healing really works? My name is Trish. I'm a trauma-informed life coach, and I help people remember who the fuck they are. So when we incarnate as a human being, we come in as this beautiful, clean, untouched spiritual being. It's pretty rad, actually. And then at the moment of our first breath, we experience our first introduction to being a human, which is through trauma. And trauma is just a difficult experience, either physically or emotionally, sometimes even spiritually. So at the moment of our first breath, right, something starts to enter our experience. And this is our first introduction to trauma. Trauma isn't bad. Trauma is just part of being a human. These are difficult emotional experiences starting to mix in with the spiritual being that we are. And we begin to adapt. We begin to become something. It's within the traumatic experiences that we develop a personality. And then later on, maybe we experience a little bit more. Maybe we get into our early childhood and we have micro moments of trauma or macro moments of trauma, and like the structure of our being begins to change. And then we get into elementary school and high school and later in high school and other relationships. And these are all very dense, very difficult to experience emotions. So we're becoming something different over time. But what this really means when we experience trauma and the way our brain has been designed to manage it is that we don't actually feel them, right? Our brain is managing all of this on our behalf. So what happens is, as we continue to live our lives and we continue to develop these coping strategies, this becomes like a stagnant pool, and it begins to basically kind of back up in our system. And let's say we get to 35, 36, maybe 40 years old, and just in like National Lampoons, because our brain has been trying to keep us safe from all these emotions, everything gets kind of stuck and things start to spill out. We call that, a midlife crisis. And we go and we seek help and we say, something just spilled out of me. I'm not quite sure what it was, but it feels really dark and heavy. Can you please help me with this? And somebody's typically like, oh yes, you are very, very, very depressed. We're gonna give you something to help you not feel that way. So here you go. That'll be a copay of $40, please. Looks very effective. So you keep taking the prescribed healing modality, and we have the stuff underneath, but it doesn't seem to get any better. In fact, maybe when we take the medication or not, no matter what happens, there's things that happen in life that all of a sudden something starts to bleed through, right? Something starts to happen. This doesn't seem to be working as well, so we have to take more. And maybe it's not just the medication, maybe it's like, I don't know, sex with somebody, or maybe some alcohol, but no matter what I do, I can't keep it contained. I don't know why I keep talking about how I feel, but it doesn't seem to stop it from happening. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm very sick, I'm very depressed. I guess this is how I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. That's what it looks like before we start healing. First thing we do is we start taking off the layers. And it's kind of messy, right? If we look at it, we're like, wow, that's really kind of seeped through pretty well. Wow. Let's take that off and let's just kind of rip this bandage off. And underneath all of these helpful tools is a really dark, heavy something, right? And so we start the actual healing work, that we start to actually feel this, and we start to bring in another spiritual awareness. We start to bring in some idea. You start working with a therapist or a coach, and you start actually feeling it. And when you really start doing your healing work and you start feeling your stuff, at first, it feels very overwhelming. It feels like you're getting worse before you get better. But as we start applying more grace, more feeling, new understandings, more spiritual understandings, you start feeling your dark emotions. In fact, the lower you go, the higher you're typically going to get. And over time, we start to feel like a totally different person, right? We look at these old coping strategies and we look at all the things that try to prevent us from feeling all of this stuff. But really what we were preventing ourselves from was letting the essence of ourselves come back in. You know what I'm saying? So I guess long story short is we're not going to start healing until we start feeling, right? The same level of consciousness that caused the problem is not going to solve the problem. You can't talk your way through that. You can't cover it up. You've actually got to get in there and you've got to feel it, right? So what we're talking about here is emotional awareness. Spiritual awareness and emotional awareness are attached to the same string, right? So every traumatic experience you've ever had has a spiritual component to it too. And that's what I teach you how to do. Stick around, I'll teach you some more stuff. I love you. I'm proud of you. Cheers. I'll see you tomorrow.